Who are you? Around here they call me the Bog Hag, she chuckled.
Okay.
I see, I said, still scratching at my leg. They were itching terribly,
something's going
and I
on.
couldn't quite figure out why.
I talk about how I'm from the country a lot, and it's because I am. I lived near the swamps and hunted and fished in a lot of swamps most of my younger life. My dad really loves hunting and fishing, and I went along with him on almost every expedition at one point in my life. And now I really like to fish. Hunting's not so much because, you know, nature can be pretty unforgiving. The bugs are really irritating. Waking up early in the morning just to travel somewhere, be hot, get bitten by bugs, maybe not kill anything and come home with it, just seems to me like it doesn't have the thrill that it used to when I was a kid. I do still love going into nature when the weather is a little bit more forgiving or the conditions are a little bit better. But I'm more like a, let's go to a campground or let's go to a nice plot in the country instead of deep woods, you know? And there's a lot of bad stuff that can happen, namely in the swamp, man. I gotta tell you, in games I've played, they're some of the most dangerous biomes that you could go into, and for good reason. In South Louisiana, we have very bad bugs in the swamp. Like, you can run into hornets' nests, you can run into wasps, you can run into very dangerous animals like wild pigs, you can run into gators, you know, you name it. There's tons of snakes, of course. And once you get out there, if you fall and slip or get stuck in mud, it's possible that you can even drown in some of the bogs, you know? So the swamp is not a forgiving place, and we're gonna find that out today firsthand with this story by Stranger Stories, guys. Make sure to head on over to his channel and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and if you like reaction videos like this, make sure to subscribe to this channel as well. Let's get into the reaction. Ah, the swamp. Beautiful sounds. No swimming, please.
The faded sign informed politely.
Ugh.
I should have complied.
Yeah.
But I'd been out hiking for days. And as such, I was dirty, sweaty, and positively reeking.
Oh gosh, yeah.
A quick afternoon bath in a rather picturesque lake was exactly what I needed.
Picturesque lake. Those two, they typically don't mean clean, right? Yeah, I mean, you could look at some nice, pretty pictures of a lake, but if you would go up to those lakes and just look down, very seldomly do you have very clear water. Water almost has to be flowing or extremely deep in order to be clean enough to consider going down into it, in my opinion at least. And I gotta tell you, even as a country boy, I knew better not to dive into muddy water. You know what I mean? There's too many things that could happen to you. There's a bunch of junk and sharp objects. I have a scar on my finger right here. I don't know if you can see it, but let's see if I can get it right. It's, yeah, so that scar right there happened when I fell. I was fishing with my grandfather, and I fell into a part of the water that had some old metal, like, I don't know, some junk. I guess it was old pieces of cars or machines. Anyway, I hit my hand on a piece of sunken, rusted metal and end up having to have stitches and all kind of stuff. It sucked. As a kid, I was traumatized too. It was bleeding quite bad. It ruined our fishing trip and stuff like that. But that's just the kind of stuff that you can get into in this dirty water type stuff. I have a feeling that he was really irritated with his body at this point, because it's not easy to stay that dirty for that long. He said he had been out for days and he reeked. But man, I don't know. Maybe I'd have just splashed some on me or something like that instead of just diving in.
Fletcher spit. Depth unknown. Possibly unreal. Curious as I was, I jumped in without thinking too much about it.
With your clothes on
in and
too?
out, like a bank robbery. That was the plan anyways. Strange how plans never seem to work out, isn't it? I must have fainted almost immediately. My body stopped responding, and I found myself sinking like an anchor into the unknown, possibly unreal depth. I could feel the water filling my lungs, and when the panic set in, it was already too late. Darkness overcame me. I woke up hours later next to a flickering campfire. Body covered by a rather mangy blanket,
So somebody
staring
recovered it.
into the piercing gaze of an old woman sitting across from me.
She rescued.
I mumbled. What happened? You almost drowned, the old woman said. The pit nearly dragged you under.
Wow.
I don't feel so good, I murmured. I felt nauseous and lightheaded. The starry night sky swirling hypnotically above.
Huh?
Don't worry, the woman grinned, exposing rotting teeth. You just need some time to rest, is all. She leaned over the crackling fire, grabbing a stick, the pointy edge of which had a black sausage-like object stuck to it. Have a bite, she said. She gave me the stick, but I struggled to move my arms. Fatigue, but I managed to grip it. My famished, ravenous persona finishing the treat in mere seconds.
What do you eat?
Ah, exquisite, I complimented.
That was
What
good.
is it? Local delicacy, she answered. I call them protein bags. Very nutritional.
Protein bags?
Ah, interesting, I noted, scratching at my legs. Who are you? Around here they call me the bog hag, she chuckled.
Okay.
I see, I said, still scratching at my leg. They were itching terribly,
Something's
and
going
I
on.
couldn't quite figure out why. I
Do you
like
have
them raw,
leeches?
you know, she said darkly. What? I asked, reaching down under the
is
blanket
leeches!
to target the obnoxious itch. My hand came shooting back, the strange texture of what I'd touched sending shivers down my spine.
Yo! Is she some kind of old freaky lady that uses healer leeches? Is that what was on the stick?
The protein bags,
No,
she said,
no, it
leaning
was.
over and pulling the blanket from my legs. I
They all over
suppose
him,
I
huh?
must have screamed, but I can't recall much. I just remembered hundreds of squirming leeches sucking away, repulsive, sliming bodies pulsating sickeningly. Watch, the woman said.
No,
As she ripped one of the
don't you
leeches
eat
off
it,
me.
don't you do it.
She held it up over her gaping mouth, bringing it down ever so slowly.
You nasty
Then
trip.
she bit the leech in half.
Ugh.
Blood, my blood, pouring out, dripping down her chin and into her
Nasty.
mouth. She slurped hideously, rolling her eyes.
Strangest stories,
I
how
was cast
dare
back
you?
into the darkness again. The blood loss, the woman, the leeches, all of it.
Mortified
Too
right now.
much. Before I lost consciousness, I heard her raspy voice one last time. You are ripe for the harvest.
Oh my gosh. That was the harvest. Nasty. Y'all, the saliva was building up. Just thinking about that. I have never had a leech on my body, okay? I've seen plenty of slugs before. Like, you know, we call them leeches, but I don't know if they were actually leeches. When I was a kid, they used to come into my house. We would normally catch one every once in a while that would be creeping in the in dark places, kind of like in where the entertainment center was at and stuff. And I remember us using salt to dissolve them, or we would also put little cups of beer. You know those white ketchup or condiment cups that you can get at a fast food restaurant to put ketchup in, or mayo, or whatever, or dipping sauces. Those are what we'd use. We'd put a little bit of beer, some of Dad's beer, in it, and they would drink the beer and it would kill them. They were also attracted to it, and that's how we got rid of them. And we didn't have a lot. It was kind of like having a mouse in your house. You know, even though you have a clean house, every once in a while you get one of those. So I guess there were slugs. I don't think they were really leeches. I've never personally seen a leech in real life, but I know they're out there. I know they're in swamps, and those in old times, and I think still in some cultures they use leeches to heal people, because taking the blood out can have some healing properties or whatever. I guess if it's bad blood or infectious blood or whatever, it can have. I don't know much about it, but I do know that it's one of the grossest things that I can think of. And oh my God, y'all, stay out of dirty water, y'all. Just stay out. Go swimming in swimming pools. Don't, just because you country, don't be diving in lakes and stuff like that, even if you dirty, man. Oh gosh, stranger stories, y'all. Make sure to check him out. Good story, bro. And another couple videos that I reacted to him from here, guys. Thanks so much for watching. As always, this is Zueljin signing off, and we'll see you next time.